really dark in here. It feels really abnormally dark. I'm no kidding, the lights are off, but I don't know. Can't see what I'm doing. One day, perhaps. Shall I say it again? Tripod. If I'm still making these videos. But, you know, I gotta adjust it just right, so if you watch my streams, most of them are private anyway. I guess some of them are still with my current setup, just kind of how I'm propping it up with the LS32 stick on a RAP4 Kai for the 360 right next to me. The angle is a little bit different. And I like to avoid the jazz hands, you know. You guys enjoyed that last time. It's just distracting, so I always like to kind of adjust the panel or the camera to view the panel in such a manner, and the monitor as well, so that you're just seeing what's on the screen. As opposed to instead of a bunch of hand button action. Don't need to see that. Alright. Anyhow, it's funny, you know, it's been a difficult week. It's kind of a recurring theme in my life right now, very sadly. And I'm just extremely tired today. Probably turned in for the night around, I don't know, 10:30, 11. And it's just one of those nights where I woke up a few minutes ago and I just couldn't get back to sleep, so I'm gonna, like, perhaps, I don't know, play some video games for 30 minutes or an hour or something. Let's see if that'll do the trick. Probably make me tired pretty quickly. Yeah, you might notice as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, recently all of these gameplay streams have just been with Capcom Arcade Cabinet. I'm just enjoying it. It's a really great, easy, simple to turn on and be able to scroll through just the select amount of Capcom games. They're all great. It's fun. So, and I love the user interface and everything. But you may have noticed that there are my kind of little virtual arcade within the game. I had it set up with the Capcom, not the Q25 cabs, what am I thinking of? The Impress cabinets. But as you can see right here, and I'll back out, it does give you the option to switch to the Mini Cute. So I put all yellow Mini Cutes. You know, I have the real article actually right behind me, yellow pastel, pretty pastel yellow Mini Cute. And, it's a neat little feature. And there's another one too. What is it, like the Q18 or something? Do you remember those cabinets, anyone? They were like they were really small in form factor. They were kind of silver, and they had the speakers that kind of arced up on the top, like little turrets. And the middle of the cab kind of came back down and then made a horizontal, you know, completion point at the top of where the marquee is. It's a wild little cabinet, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's very silver and kind of small form factor, the way it's angled. You know, I'm not sure how big the monitor was. I saw one for a guy in California had one for sale like 4 or 5 years ago. I remember seeing it. Hey mate, hey Giggity, what's going on, my friend? Living the dream. I'm living something, but it's quite the antithesis of a dream. Dare I say nightmare? I've just awoken from one. Yeah, it's jeez. I just woke up a few minutes ago. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's silver and well, I could just. They probably. Really cool, like old big blue upright style type of thing, kind of. You can alternate between colors. It's the Status. That's the one I was thinking of. Mate, that's the one. Yeah, I saw a guy in California had one several years back. Looked in pretty good shit. Good nick. Beautiful little cabinet too. So that's so wild because as you can see, the as you know, the Mini Cute is a pretty small cabinet, kind of arcade one-up size, maybe a little bigger, really like that for reference. But look at how small that little cabinet is. It's so cool. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. You know, I did end up getting a Mini Cute, but I did see one of those for sale too. I kind of wish I had gotten that one instead, maybe Status 18 or Status 20 something. I can't remember what size the monitor was, but it's cool. Yeah, you did tell me that you got that Salamander PCB. I suppose maybe I last did one of these 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, man, congrats on that. And like I was telling you, I've still got, the box is full of PCBs. I'll ship them down to New Zealand if you want any. And they're not free. I have to charge something. But I've told people that I do recall making a video about that back in July. And look at me. I still haven't organized that project at all. The PCB selling project. But if you knew all the stuff that I had been through since then and that I'm still going through, I think I could be forgiven. Oh boy. I laugh, but it's not funny at all. But so my bad on that one, because I know I told you I would send you a list and some others as well. One day, if you are all still alive and even interested in this hobby, I guess I'll do that, because I don't want them anymore, But still, I do know the value of them, and that's a good deal on Salamander that you got. And what an amazing game, not to mention one of my favorites. So, pretty good one on that there. Yeah, I mean it's a fantastic place. I will say that. It's big, empty, and lonely. But yeah, lovely house. No, I couldn't say otherwise about it. Doing a lot of work on it lately, this and that. Keeping you a little busy, like the deck projects, all of that. I posted some community photos and all of that. I'm still and the quite lengthy process of just the all of the interior decorating, which just is like it's such a time-consuming thing, and it's I don't know. I should just stop talking. I'm like stuck between two worlds, and I don't know how things are gonna end up in my life. So it's hard to really be excited about things when you're like in the dark on certain situations, and you're hoping for certain things to change and all of that jazz. So it's just try to make it through each day. It's not having a fun time with life right now. Understatement. Anyway, I said I was gonna play a video game, didn't I? Let me play the same order that I always. How about like do something different like Higemaru? I don't even know when the last time I've played Higemaru would actually be. Maybe I played it about. Okay, and it has a rather annoying demo track. Maybe I played it about 7 years ago on one of those Sega Saturn Capcom compilations. I can't remember which volume. Yo, I don't know about the real estate market down there, but yeah, it fluctuates here quite frequently. But you saw back 10 years ago or more when there was that really big recession that actually affected things here quite a bit, and that was when it was a good time to like get in, and you could get things so cheap, and then it kind of goes up. It's like the stock market, up and down, but different things happen, like with the Fed raising interest rates, kind of changes whether it's a buyer or seller's market. So the prices keep going up. So it's like anytime you get in, and especially like at a price point like this one, I get like right now the way it seems it was a good time to get in because like 6 months now it's tapered off a little bit and things have cooled down, but yeah, um, it is possible to get priced out of I don't know the market and living where you would like to be if your timing isn't right with things. So it's like just for I don't know, man. I'm just rambling here about non-game related things. Well, I imagine like kids who were, I don't even know, what would that generation be? I don't know, like people born in the 90s and that kind of thing, or even maybe about a decade later. It's like, man, they're not gonna have a pot to piss on, and it's kind of sad. It feels like. I mean, like work is fine for me. It's not fun, especially these days. I'm not as productive as I normally am, but money, all that stuff, I'm good. It's just other things that I feel are more important that are really just like for a year and a half now, just like got me like more depressed than I've ever been in my life, and I'm not used to that feeling. So it's been really like every day is still really hard. And I'm still hopeful for things not to be like this. How do you grab in this game? Oh man, you know what? It's always a shock to the system when you try. What am I doing? I'm supposed to hit these guys. When you haven't played like a 4-way joystick game in a while and you're using a 8-way Hayabusa, which is kind of Sanwa-esque, I suppose. It's a little looser than Sunitsu Lover. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, trying to play a 4-way joystick game with an 8-way joystick. You kind of feel like you slide and slip a little bit, you know? But nothing can be done. Just ignore the gameplay though. Pirate. Two birds with one stone. Lovely. You know, when you play an old game like this, or Pac-Man, or like Dome Pool, or Bomberman, it's like baseball. It's like batting practice. You need a little warm-up to kind of get in the groove and the swing, dare I say, I think. Oh man, but it'd be cool to have a... You know what I like about those Capcom Power Stick Fighters is that they did have that switch to go from 8-way to 4-way. It'd be cool to have that. It doesn't like affect the actual mechanism, but just where the inputs are targeted, and it does help a little bit. That would be cool to, but I don't really see anyone kind of doing that anymore. I mean, what am I trying to say? It doesn't like switch the gate in a drastic way, but it works. Hey, what's going on, Luke? I saw you posted a video like a few hours ago when I was logging into my phone to start this video up. That's how often I log into YouTube, man. It's so like I never watch videos anymore, but I'll watch that because I just saw it come up. It's so rare that I check my feed now. Yeah. What were you working on? It was a PCB or was it a gameplay? I just saw it like a few or however many minutes ago that was, 30 minutes ago when I started this. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Crap, man. With my videos, I would say you've missed more than nothing. Oh, no, man, no worries. I just woke up and couldn't get back to sleep, so like I'll throw on some games. Like the only time I ever play video games these days is usually when I do these 99% of the time. And then I sit here and take long pauses between gameplay sessions and just ramble. Go back to some battle circuit. I don't have a save file set up for this. Cyanide Breath Mints channel. I remember that name. Is he still around, or he did a lot of the? I think that was a fellow who was into a lot of shooters as well. Oh, dude, yeah, you are. What am I thinking? I'm sorry, man. It's late, and I've just awoken from a nightmare, my life. Yeah, I knew you were. You know who I was thinking? I can't remember. For some reason, I just got the names crisscrossed in my mind. Jeez. Because I know, of course you're into shmups, and of course you are. Cyanide Breath Mints. What am I thinking about? Jeff, the guy, like I don't know why, I got his name mixed up with yours, and it's not even similar. I can't even think of the name. Brain farts. You see the mini cutes, Luke, by the way, like I got the you can change between like the pink, yellow, blue cabs. They don't have a green one. And like the Capcom status cab, pretty neat. Old US style Woody cabs. And the Empress. And you just apply it all. Got the virtual mini cutes and the real mini cute right behind me. I don't know if those Neo Geo cabs are ever gonna see the light of day again. They're in a climate-controlled environment, though, so I mean they're fine. Last time I checked on them, anyway. Yeah, it's like one for each game. The Dream Capcom room. I'm gonna actually fire Battle Circuit on. Oh man, did you mention that earlier in the comments above? I didn't see that, but what is your lineup like for arcade cabinets? Are you like rocking the super guns and the CRT monitors and TVs, or do you have any cabs as well? Because I can't remember if you did a game room video. It must have been a long time ago, and I don't know if it's even up on your channel anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Giggity or cyanide, both of you. Two people, yes, the same person. I think for me on YouTube, especially, what I always enjoyed the most, and it was really enjoyable, circa 2008, 9, 10, 11, I don't know, 12, 13, 14-ish, 15, 16, whatever. Just not for the past like 5 or 6 years, I feel. It's different. But I used to really enjoy, and it seemed like at that time a lot of people were kind of getting into setting up game rooms. So I used to really enjoy the tour videos or just the progression setup videos and all that. Like I don't see anything like that anymore. So you should do some videos like that if you set up a new place. But then again, I'm sure people are posting videos like that. It'd be kind of hard for me to see them when I never, look at my feed. I just don't. I don't know. I just do community posts and your odd lives, occasional, live stream here or there. That's it. That's it these days. Oh, nice. Yeah, I never rotated any of my candy, the 229s or the whatever that is, the 19 and the mini cute, but that would be cool. I'm assuming you're gonna set up maybe some other monitors or stuff like that in there with it too. Did you ever get one of those dark soft kits, Luke, with the I guess yeah the multi CPS2 board? I mean, it's expensive, but there was a point where I was thinking about perhaps getting one since mostly it's very nice and convenient. It'd be on the Rygen over there would be cool. And I usually just fire up these Capcom games anyway, and I probably just have one cabinet with like a dark soft multi-board in it and like never have to change it, you know, just be happy with that. But you know, I'm in the process of kind of downsizing with, um, especially the like I talked about the PCB selling that never got off the ground or hasn't yet, and I think I kind of would like to do that with a lot of with some software as well. I'm more about because MAME, like on this setup right next to me, MAME works so well. I'm more than pleased with that most of the time. I don't know, just going forward, I'll probably change this setup again and, you know, make it less cluttered, but we'll see. Yeah, that's how you got it. Sometimes that's right. You told me that, and I mean sometimes you over the years, I don't buy anything anymore games wise. I got so much. I really haven't in so long. It's crazy. I think the last two things I bought were like it was a PC Engine game like a couple of years ago maybe, but yeah, back. I think I may have stumbled across some listings like way back in the day as well, where somebody had just made kind of a careless error in terms of a typo, and it was enough so that it became completely hidden from the general eBay searching public. And I don't know, I was able to stumble across it and got some kind of deal, kind of similar to what you're mentioning with that Tatsujin. Yeah, I can never remember the darn name of the gosh darn game for some reason. It's the so there was, you know, Bubble Bobble, and then Rainbow Island, this offshoot, Taito, and what's the one on the PC Engine? Parasol Stars. Yeah, I think that was the last game I bought, like 2000. It was must have been during COVID, 2020. That fun year. Oh my god. But it was a real long time ago. It was like I had some eBay bucks, so I got a pretty good deal on it. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that you were kind of just getting into PCBs. I'm kind of like almost the complete inverse of that, kind of getting out of them. But that's just not exclusively PCBs. There's like a lot of other things too. Um, I'm just narrowing. I just want to narrow down to like just what I will really use, because I there's so much stuff that I haven't touched in like, over a decade, and you know, I've always like displayed and kept, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like seeing people do that as well. I just don't want to do it myself personally with my setup anymore. Yeah, you got in at the wrong time, my friend, as you know. So that's really fortunate, and a great find to get that Truxton at such a discount rate, because, gosh, the boards are like, that would have been easy to get Truxton for that price or less back in the day. And now you're looking at people will probably charge you like 4 times that. So I think that's one reason why a lot of people got out of buying PCBs. Now, I mean, I still like to the idea of having them and being able to play them is nice. It doesn't ever happen, but so that's why I thought like a dark soft kit would be useful for me since I don't like changing out boards, and I'd be happy with like just running 30 Capcom titles and then MAME, you know. But like I don't think I would ever get rid of the MVS carts just because they're so easy to store. And so that might be like the part of my arcade collection that survives or stays with me. Oh, see, but dude, you'll break that rule so many times. I kind of had a rule like that as well, and then it eventually became like, well, I have the Saturn port, the arcade board, but I don't have the PlayStation port. I would like all of them. So get ready to break that rule. We'll try not to. Now I'm just, I don't know. When I was in the past, when I would be thinking about, well, how am I going to set up a game room and have these monitors, and which systems can I kind of put on each one, or which super gun, this and that, get it to where you can have a nice kind of varied selection running on everything, where each setup is capable of handling several different consoles, maybe this or that. And you'd be like, well, I have this board, and well, I could on this system here, I could have this port going, and all of it. But that's one of the things I love about, to be honest with you, when I would do that, it wasn't. I did have like a specific reason because I would always like to. I found it enjoyable to have that original arcade PCB and then have, for instance, the Saturn port and the PlayStation, because they're all like pieces of history, offshoots from it, and they all have their unique manuals and look to them, and they play a little bit differently, and some have special features that others don't have, and with Saturn and PlayStation arcade ports to those consoles. Sometimes the PlayStation would have the better port, sometimes the Saturn, and sometimes one would have extra features that the other wouldn't have, vice versa. So there was kind of a purpose to it I think I did it with, I don't know, a couple of games, like Twin V, Yahoo, and, well, not Salamander, because I don't have the PCB for that, but I have a lot of different ports on consoles for it. Yeah, and you just like what happens is you eventually break yourself of it, or I did at least. I think maybe when you do something for so long, it's like you just get tired of it. Like I'm just tired of collecting video games. Mostly I'm tired of playing them, but I still love like the history and art behind them. Like just to have this on this CRT and look at it. Um, I don't know. It's still enjoyable. I love everything behind video games and what they are, and even playing them. I just don't I suppose as much as I used to, but it's something I think you'll still always love to some extent. And it's like, hell, I mean, I could look. I've got a ton of space. I could set, if I wanted to, I could set up like 3 different game rooms, but I just don't have the desire to do it. I'm all about downsizing. And that's hard to do for various reasons. You stumble across a couple of common dilemmas that one will encounter when you're trying to kind of initiate the process of getting your mind to think like that. And look, man, for me, it's as simple as like clutter stresses me out these days. It just does. So it's just a personal choice, I guess, or a thought process that I would like to act upon, you know. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there were more than you think, actually, but yeah, you are right. Like, that was kind of like the advent of arcade hardware that was running polygonal-based 3D stuff, and of course, everybody like you know, you did it, I did it, we all did. We jumped on it. We were like, to use a colloquial phrase, you know, flies on shit. Sorry. But we all did. We were all enthralled and kind of like really drawn in by this new look. It was the future. Oh, look at Tekken, this and that. And then, you know, the PlayStation and Saturn handling ports of all the 2D stuff and doing its own kind of 3D stuff as well. And then consoles progressing in terms of power. So yeah, it's like arcades just got phased out right like that. And maybe those first batch of 3D arcade, like Virtua Fighter and Model 2 stuff, or maybe it's to blame. But that's how it is, right? It's the natural progression of development tools at a game designer's disposal, and technology with time always increases, and you're capable of doing more with it. So it was always going to happen. But yeah, nothing beats the 2D sprite-based stuff. It still looks the best. It does, though. I mean, I really believe that. And it's funny because you'll go through, like I was just saying, you go through that initial phase in the early to mid 90s when 3D was becoming more of a thing. You know, it was pretty shocking and mind-blowing, and we all just kind of gravitated towards it immediately. And I think at that point, a lot of people probably just disavowed like 2D games. What is that? It's a really old thing. No, I never did. I was still into them. You know, there were still a bunch of great sprite-based arcade games coming out all the way into the early 2000s. But I do think that, I don't know, all of what I'm saying is somewhat true. Yeah, everything, and that's, yeah, pretty much, mate. Good point, you know, it's like, and I think things in life generally tend to do that. Everything does come full circle, in all avenues and aspects. So, yeah. See in the dark. Go with our alien green. such an underrated beat 'em up. I probably say things like that every time I play it, but get the milkshake. Yes. I think unfortunately now too you're gonna find that trying to focus on collecting shmups is quite pricey. But it wasn't always that way. You know, I reckon once in a while you can still maybe stumble across some deals on some stuff like that Truxton you had recently picked up. It's just, I'm so out of the market, you know, in terms of just. You know, when you're not really looking to buy anything, you kind of just detach yourself from it. And so I don't exactly, I'm not 100% up to date on what things are worth. I just everyone tells me that the prices are still going up on a lot of items. Wait, what's that? Hold on 1 second, maybe. I got Johnny. I gotta contend with Johnny here. Johnny is a handful. Attacked by the robots of Johnny. He's in hyper mode. I don't like Johnny in hyper mode. He's taking a bar off. Man, and I just the sloppy play. I never noticed that. That's kind of a clever little touch. Well, he's obviously an Elvis impersonator. And when he dies, he gets real like Elvis over the toilet, who was a bit more obese at that stage in his life. The sprite got fat when it hit the earth. Okay, so, sorry, let's see, the Simple 1500 series on the PS1, No, which game? What are you? Which one are you talking about? Ah. I didn't buy the move. You guys, robots and Dr. Saturn cornered me there. I thought you were talking about I don't know if you're still there, man, but oh, okay. Yeah, do you have so um Cotton 100%, yeah. I just have I have it on the Super Famicom, but I've forgotten about that. Yeah, they did make that on the, they did port that over, or it's the same game over on the PS1. That's kind of cool. But no, I never got it. Man, the Super Famicom port of that used to be, you pick that up for next to nothing, but again, I'm sure it's, which I did, but I'm sure now if you tried to get Cotton 100% on the Super Fami, I'm sure you can't get it for like 20 bucks anymore, right? But those were fun days. That was it, yeah. Prices are crazy on this stuff, aren't they? Weak. Let's try to get the Yeah, I got it a long time ago on Cotton 100%. I never did get so Scrambled Valkyrie. That was on the Super Famicom too. That's the one you're talking about, I think. That used to be really cheap. I'm sure it's not now, but I don't think I have that. No, I don't, and I never will. But it does look awesome, actually. I fancied it at one point. Just never got it. You know what Macross game I like? Just the gosh, I'm drawing a blank, but the vertical shooter. I have the PCB, the Macross game. I think it's just called that. Macross. Do you remember love? Or is that a movie? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's the Macross Shooter made for Tate monitors. That game's great. So not one of the PCBs I have that I got for pretty cheap back in the day, but I really like the other one too. It's an interesting one. There's also a horizontally scrolling, side-scrolling Macross arcade game where it's like a time-based system. I've got it on MAME. I should fire it up at some point. It's interesting. Yeah, that game's. It's a great. I never really, since there's so many ports on the Saturn and PS1. And way back in the day when I started buying PCBs, I had super gun setups, and I had really big televisions that I couldn't really tate easily, so I never got into buying so many vertical monitor PCBs. But I do have a few, like Stormblade, great game by Visco, awesome, and that Macross game by who did it? Taito? Can't remember. It was Ben Presto, or was it? Who was it? I'm drawing a few blanks. It's like Ben Presto did a lot of those games that are based on, like Japanese cartoons and stuff like that. I can't recall if they did that Macross one. I guess when you don't look at stuff for like 6-7 years, you forget. Oh man, it was either Ben Presto or I don't know. No, I don't, but I do. I have it on the Saturn. And I tell people, like, the Saturn version's the best one to own because it has the special version on it as well, so you get both games. Whereas if you had an original Batsugun PCB, you'd have to do a ROM swap every time you wanted to play the special version. It's like there wasn't like a different. I guess if you had two Batsugun PCBs, you could keep, but nobody has two of them. You could have one set of ROMs on one and one on the other, but I find this, like the Saturn port's easier to do because cost and availability. You know, even Batsugun used to be not that expensive compared to now. I'm sure it's doubled in price, right? What it will go for, but that would still be cheaper. Let's say, like I was fortunate I got Batsugun when it was cheap, but for someone who is just looking to get it now, that Saturn port is a lot of bang for your buck because those boards and like the even one Batsugun board, PCB, and like the ROMs for the special version, that's gonna cost you. People are gonna charge you like over $1,000 for all that stuff. Just go with the Saturn port. Even if you can't get it as cheap as I did back in the day. Back in the day, it's still a better deal. Like if you must have that game, you know. And I think that is a kind of a must-own shmup for the Saturn. You could always MAME it. That's probably the smartest thing to do. Just get a good MAME setup. I love MAME, man, more and more because I don't have to fiddle with software. No, I mean, technically no. Technically yes, rather. I do have Sky Shark, but you know, it was with branding and licensing and publishing and all of that jazz. Like a lot of the Toplon shooters that in the 80s and early 90s were published by Taito, so they would actually like. I thought it was like what, but you know, they would always. Same thing for Twin Cobra, you know? You'll see Taito when you fire the game up. It's like, no, you just published it. Toplon developed that. But that's how it was. So yeah, technically I have one Toplon game in PCB format. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be quite a collection. You know, oh, did it? Cool, cool. So you know it'll be done right, unlike Hamster. You know Zex came out on Arcade Archives with Hamster, but it's like the filters add this really bad blurring. It's just Hamster does stuff wrong, and M2 does shot triggers like they do stuff right. I did that video a year or two back, whatever it was, just showing Esperedo on the PS4, that port that they did on I think it was an NEC Multisync 95 CRT. Well, I know it was. It's right over here next to me, but it was at my old house. Anyway, I don't know. I just kind of showed all the features and read some of the basic Japanese if people wanted to figure out like how to tweak it. And I was just amazed with the amount of effort and love that went into to producing that product that M2 did. Not only like all the specials that it came with, that limited one, but just in terms of the port work and the game development. Like no stone was left unturned. And that is a big pet peeve of mine when lazy devs or lazy entities like Hamster with Arcade Archives, they'll just like throw something out there and it's not scaled properly, and their options for letting you scale it are poor, and they create artifacting. And the thing about that also is when you'll go and look at their scanline filtering options, so let's say it's a game where they give you a 1 to 10 gauge level in terms of the scanline intensity. Even if you turn it up to just 1, it automatically adds a blur filter. Now, some people not to get confused. Some people think oh, when you turn on scan lines, it dims something. Well, yeah, because it's every other line being black, so of course it does. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about the bilinear filtering, you know? And Hamster can't make a game without throwing that over the top of everything. And their reasoning for doing it is when you turn on scan lines, they know that their algorithms for scaling the game were so poor that you're going to get all this garbled garbage on your screen. So if you turn on scan lines, they automatically turn on that bilinear filtering because they know they've not scaled it properly, and that's the only way to smooth out all of the nonsense. M2, on the other hand, will give you crystal clear, like just really good scaling options and like beautiful filters. On 31 kilohertz monitor, the way I did the HDMI to VGA, it's like, shoot, man, there's nothing better than an RGB 31 kilohertz monitor. When you get a situation where you can have scan lines on it, right? So I was really thoroughly impressed with, that's my long-winded way of saying, I was really impressed with them too. All the games I've seen that they've worked on porting, and I've been, utterly displeased with Arcade Archives and Hamster for the most part. Just like I will say that with the beat 'em up bundle and with the arcade stadium that you're looking at, I think Capcom did a pretty good job with all that scaling and the scan line options as well. So like I'm hoping that Fighting Collection with Red Earth is done the same way. I think like Digital Eclipse handled the 30th anniversary collection. It was done well in some ways too. I think like both of them are not perfect, but I'm more than satisfied with both of them. With that 30th anniversary collection, I always turned off their filter and just used my SLG to get a better picture. But with this, with Capcom's, I leave them on because they're fine. Well, look, so I'll tell you, well, it's like, so Hamster is the one that's handling all of those Arcade Archives titles on the PS4 too. So it's like the same nonsense that you remember from the PS2. They're just doing it here and, throwing some $4.99 price tag on it, which is what it's worth because they didn't do anything to produce that really, and it's done poorly. But there were a couple of their collections on the PS2 that are good. Like Contra is good. It gives you full Tate options and 240p res. And then you go to like Sonic Wings on that PS2 Hamster collection, that title. It did let you Tate rotate the game for a Tate monitor, but it was 480i. It's like, how hard, guys, would it have been to program 240p, the real visual mode of that game? And they didn't do it. And you can look it up. I don't remember it, but somebody posted it on a forum somewhere, I'm sure, where you can kind of look up with those Hamster PS2 titles, they were all numbered. And it was like, by about title number so-and-so, such and such number, they got the idea and started to do a better job and give like 240p non-blurred modes and all of that. So I will say a lot of those are good, but there are some bad ones too. Now with the PS4, it seems like it's all pretty bad, the arcade archive stuff, I think. Because if you use their filter, it's like the bilinear with scan lines that they provide, the bilinear filter is like, it's intense. really makes it, washes everything out completely. You don't get that pixel sharp look. You know, you don't get that RGB monitor look, so it's like, what's the point of it? Yeah, suffice to say, they didn't do a great job with a lot of those. I've got they did a couple of decent ones. I've got another one that's good, too. I just can't recall what it is, but I'm sure I do. Ocean Commander. This has that actually gotten to be one that people hold in some sort of high level of esteem just because of how obscurely, I don't know, just how obscure it is and just how poor the game is overall? Sometimes that happens, or maybe it was rare, maybe it had a low print run or something. Yeah, one of those. It's like, I don't know, some titles do receive lower print runs, and even if they're bad, usually nowadays I think it's most of the old games that, even if they're really high print runs, they're not rare at all. If it's a good game that people know and love by a well-known dev, or kind of like a subset of things that where there's a kind of a cult following for it, like shooter shmups, the games are like really expensive, even if they're ones that aren't necessarily rare, right? Nowadays, that's like everything. Even the most common of common games, if it's just a decent game on a system like PlayStation or Saturn or something, I think it's just all the prices continue to rise. Strike Force Hydra. Sounds. I bet I know it. I bet I've seen it. It's like one of the forgettable. There are a few on the Saturn like that as well, actually. Like what, like Terra Cresta 2, or 3, or I'm sorry, not 2, 3D, that one, didn't they do? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you noticed that last time. Well, I've just got auto fire on, so I don't really want to be tapping, but I get you because the lock on feature, when you do use auto fire, that is something that you cannot use. the last few weeks when I've been playing this, it's weird enough playing it. Cool as all heck, I think. Don't have to rotate the monitor. The game plays in its vertical resolution, but the controls stay horizontal. Such a cool feature. Everyone should do that. Because this happens to be a monitor I just don't ever want to rotate, you know? Some of the other ones I do, and some of them are like dedicated to being in that position. Cool feature. But it's already interesting enough trying to learn how to play it this way. And since I've just been playing it again, you know, it's a game that never had a port, and it wasn't one you would see in arcades a lot back in the day. So it's not like I spent a ton of time on it at the arcade, but whenever I did see it, I would like to play it. But just having like a port of it here and playing it again for the first time in a while, I've just had auto fire on. I think I'd have to already adjust to the back to the tap and hold for like super shot mechanism. Oh, is it? Jeez. So that one must be pretty poor. Get a bottle of water and one game of this, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Morning fight. Yeah, man, that is powerful with that ship. That's the hold down fire. that took that boss down a lot quicker than when I was playing it the other week with auto fire, I believe. Aha. One wave of bullets, another one. Oh, brain wasn't ready for that. It hit me twice. Too tired to shmup. Alright, maybe I'll play one more turn. Commando would be interesting and Commando, similar fashion to your XX, vertical monitor, playing it horizontally. Steam Hearts. Oh boy, yeah, I never got that one either, and I think it's I think it's probably pretty expensive too. Remember, it was already getting there. See, I wonder if you can see when I turn on the SLG down here. You know, I played Steam Hearts on the ODE, the Saturn. I don't own the game, but I did play it. That was the first time I ever played it when I got that. Um, so yeah, I think it's. I just played it like one time, but it seemed like a pretty decent shooter. You know, it's got some other weirdness about it, but just as a game, it seemed fun. You know. Divine Ceiling. I've never heard of that one. I feel like I haven't seen my Mega Drive collection, and it's just been boxed up for so long now. It's like I think I still have it. I do. It's back in a closet somewhere, right over there behind me. Captain Commando is wacky. I love it too. Oh, it's an unlicensed game, I see. It's really not. People probably think that I have a lot more games than I do. I've always kept it down to a smaller number than a lot of people, I guess. But yeah, I don't have many. they're mostly Japanese Mega Drive games that I have. Genesis is one of my well, Mega Drive Genesis is probably one of my well, I don't know if it's one of my larger collections or not. Like the two, I've probably got 100 PlayStation 1 games and 100 Saturn games. Those are Mega Drive, maybe like 30 or 40. Probably more like 30 something. And I don't know, like if you count NES and Famicom together, I kept a lot of NES carts from way back in the 80s, and I acquired some other ones across the years. But I got a lot of Famicom carts in Japan, and I probably have, I don't know, over 100, 150 of those. So, but then it's like I've got like two games for the PS3, you know, like 10 games for the 360. I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 PC Engine games. I don't have like 50 MVS games is big for that system because there's only 150. Well, I've got like 18 AES games. So that's kind of a lot for that system, but they didn't used to be that expensive as they are now. That's changed quite a bit. Demon Souls. I've still got Demon Souls, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. Most of what I did was when Breath of the Wild came out, I got it about a year late actually, and I got it on the Wii U. Never got a Switch, and at this point I never will. But I remember I went to GameStop to get Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, and I brought like a bag full of, I don't know, just across all the modern systems from 360, PS3, what else, whatever they were taking. And it was like just a bunch of shovelware titles. I think like Jurassic the Hunting was in there. So there were some okay games like, not BioShock, what is it called? I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it. It's been so long. But, Infamous. I don't know. That was okay. A few games, and then it was like FIFA whatever through whatever, and NHL whatever through whatever, and just all these sports titles. So I must have taken with me about, I don't know, 25. It might have taken 25 shovelware titles on those systems, and I just traded it in for the store credit and got Breath of the Wild. It's like I wasn't going to play any of those ever again anyway, so that was great because that decluttered. I got rid of like 30 crappy games that were just taking up space and got one game for free that I really loved that game too. Yeah, Demon Souls is it's a bad game, man. That's like bad as in not like bad to the bone. That's an awesome game, you know. That game is it's great. super finish is brutal. I never... Gosh, it's hard for me to talk and play at the same time. But anyway, I was going to... Look at that. I was going to say, always over the years when you play Captain Commando, whether it was like the SNES port or at the arcades or later on a PCB or name, different ways to play it, you always tend to play as Captain Commando or Show or Babyhead, and I always personally neglected to like try out very much this Genity guy. But I've been playing with him recently when I'm doing these streams, and I like him, actually. His little kind of death move is pretty nasty, pretty brutal. He like disintegrates the guy. You can see the skeleton of it. I mean, Show's is pretty gnarly as well, I suppose, because he kind of cuts the guy in half at the waist. Captain Commando's is what he burns the guy up, disintegrates him, turns into ash. But I don't think like the animation of it is too brutal. I can't recall really. I'm playing like crap right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just talking to me. But I was just kind of playing with him, just kind of seriously. One of those streams had a pretty decent run. I thought the character was pretty useful overall. This will not be a good playthrough right now, but try him out if you haven't. Too tired to try and execute the proper crowd management that a beat 'em up such as this one requires. I did not get to Strum Jr. with enough health. Because he's hard. He's hard. That was a tough boss. Yeah, I have the PS1 port of Captain Commando as well. I love it. It's one of the, CPS1 classic, one of the best beat 'em ups, and that port is really good, as you know. I love all the extras on it, like Of course, I prefer the original arcade OST. Like, check that out, man. Listen to that. Oh, it's so good. Funky fresh. But I like how they had the remix soundtrack on that PS1 port. Kind of a cool addition. There were several other things, as I recall, as well. I think pretty well put together package there, and that again was not a terribly expensive game back then. I think somebody was telling me the other day. I think maybe Dow or somebody was telling me that it's like really expensive now, that PS1 port. I guess I could see why, because a real interesting port of a game that had already been out for a long time by the time they ported it to the PS1. So those are it's sort of like Gun Frontier as well on the Saturn. That had been out for a while. And it's always interesting to see which of those games, when they kind of delve back into the arcade games that were out, years later, they would port something like that. And yeah, it's the best port of Captain Commando, that's for sure, I think. I would say. So many other ways to play the game now, but yeah, that PS1 port is awesome. Yeah, play the game with the remix soundtrack. It's good. It's good. I think you'll like it. I'm usually not a big fan of. It's always appreciated more options. So, alternate soundtracks are cool for games when they do a remix one. Usually, I don't think they're that great, but that one, for some reason, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Yeah, well, it's an awesome way to play the game. Arcade perfect port, and then and then the extras are cool too. Mine is in a box somewhere. But like in this room, for instance, I've got PlayStation set up so you can fire up that port and play it just like I'm doing now, arcade style. Um, so I get the same damn experience on the PS1 in this room as I can with the PS4 version of the game too, with all the arcade sticks. And they're like identical, but I mean that PS1 port is pretty close to arcade perfect. Well, I just played on the PS4 because it's easy. It's on the Stadium and the bundle, and they're just on my hard drive. And I really like this Hori, the VLX Premium. Hayabusa stick is great. The Kudo buttons, I always really like them. Such a nice beefy panel too, you know, those Hori VLX. It was like a real limited thing, you know. They happen to have one at my Fry's Electronics. I don't know, it must have been 4 years ago when these ones came out. The all black. It's basically like a Vuelix arcade cab panel. You know, all the same parts, all that. And they kind of debuted the Hayabusa and the Kuros with, or at least like, in that format. So there's sticks where you could buy it with the parts in there. And I've enjoyed them there quite a bit. I rate them up there pretty highly. I like Famitsu stuff, but I really like Hori's buttons and parts too. I like them better than I like that Hori Hayabusa. I think it's a better lever than like the JLFs and the Sanwa. I think of it like a sort of an in-between stick. The Hayabusa with the tension, the throw and engage, everything on the lever, the gate, everything, the construction of it. It kind of sits somewhere in between, like say Mitsu LS32 and Sanwa JLF stick, I think. So it's to my liking. I've enjoyed that lever quite a bit. LS32s are the best. I mean, there's no denying that. But Hayabusa, I play with one just as well. I mean, I like it just as much, pretty much, for the most part. It's funny. The PS4 is like the only thing I do play these days, I feel like, because, and it's when I'm streaming, so you see it usually. I mean, it's just so nice and convenient. I've got a good setup with this stick and this monitor and all these arcade ports that are just like on the hard drive. It's kind of like a MAME machine in itself, and then my MAME setup is right next to it. Those are the things that the two arcade setups here in this room that I actually use. Really probably make do with just those two. Because then, you know, you could keep all your other systems and just, you know, switch them out and even keep your same sticks now. They make it so convenient with all of the various adapters to make them Swiss Army knife like, where you could hook this Hori controller up to any retro system, you know. Yeah, yeah. Do you mean the what is it? The XE HE1 Pro? Or it was something like that, right? The XE1 HE Pro. Yeah, I have one, and I'm trying to. Yeah, it does have that feature you mentioned. I'm just trying to picture it mentally. I actually might have that handy that I can grab. Perhaps. Do I have that over here? Or do I have that over here? No. See it. Probably can't even see that. Maybe there is easier. I don't know. But yeah, they're the you can. It's dark, so you probably can't see it on. Well, you know about it. We're talking about it, but for anyone else, yeah, those are the four. There are the four control multi-tap ports on the side of it. That is a really neat feature. This is, man, this is such a. I love this stick because it's tiny. Look at how small that thing is, and so it's versatile in that regard, and it's pretty substantial. Has the switch between the 4 and 8 way. This one does it too. I was talking about it earlier on the stream how I like that. You know, the Capcom Power Stick Fighter had that feature, but I forgot that this one does that too. And it's such a solid lever, man. It feels like a Sumitsu type lever. It's a good lever. It's I just like the throw and engage, and pretty tight and responsive, and awesome. Microsoft, you know how much I love them with all the XRGB 2 and 2 pluses that got it. Yeah, it was. I think I had it up on that table with the 2 big Trinitrons. Imagine like a, for instance, the universal gold standard shell. In my opinion, these days, it's that Hori shell, the RAP4 Kai, the longer one, that body. That I mean, I've got a bunch of them. And it's nice, and they're easy to mod and everything like that. Imagine if there was like somebody. It'd be so cool to get a skin, make that into a. That XE1 HE Pro type of thing. It'd be cool if all the features were on it too, like the gate switching and the turbo knobs as well, with PC Engine hookups on it, so you play with that. I mean, as it is, there are adapters already that allow you to use these Horis on anything, PC Engine too, but that would look cool nonetheless. And oh man, I gotta get to bed here. Mornings still can get plenty of sleep. Like I was saying, I'm so exhausted today. Fell asleep early, woke up, couldn't get back to bed, so playing some Arcade Stadium made me a little bit tired, and I want to call you Giggity Wing now because I'm so used to. Now you've switched back to the old name that I remember from years and years ago. To call you Cyanide, Giggity Cyanide. Oh, did he? Or he did that? That's pretty sweet. Yeah, he did some cool pro. Like I liked. I remember a long time ago he did. He took the SS. What is it? 0130. I can't remember, but you know, the virtual stick, and I think he like did a Battle Garaga theme skin on the top of the panel. It's pretty awesome. You know, Gigawing's on this arcade stadium, the first one. Geez, I remember though when Gigawing was ported to the Dreamcast. I was working at a retail store called Media Play. I was a teenager back then. It's like time flies because it doesn't seem like a long time ago. In a way, it does, but I never got on well with that game. Gigawing and I. It was just. It's kind of peculiar, actually, at the time that I ended up buying that. I think it was just, oh, it's a new Dreamcast game. Because I like shooters, but it was like, I didn't. I don't know. Back then, when you're a teenager, you don't. It's like disposable income. It's like if you get a game from your parents or something back in the day for your birthday or Christmas, but throughout the year, you know, you gotta spend your own money. Back then, when you've got a job just like bagging groceries or being a cashier, like I did when I was 15 or 16, you know, I was into like PlayStation 1 RPGs a lot then too. And that seemed like more value for my $60, a game that was I know I'm gonna try and play through 60 to 100 hours of. So it's weird that I bought Gigawing because it wasn't like I was actively buying a lot of shmups back then. They are cool, and I've got Mars Matrix as well. They're like very similar, yeah, in some ways. Right, yeah. And Mars Matrix I like better. Like I like the look and feel to it. Just aesthetically, I think, but it plays so similarly, yeah. In a way, you know. But yeah, mate, back to bed for me. 9 a.m. Still a while. Still quite a few many hours off, so I'm gonna get back to bed. Thanks for coming on here and watching me play some Capcom. And thanks for the chat, mate. Enjoyed it. Entertaining as always, and appreciate that a lot, my friend. Yeah, good night to you. And Luke, thanks for stopping by, buddy, as well. I enjoyed chatting with you and Cyanide, so take care, fellas, and I'll talk to you later. Captain Commando, birthplace in Hiragana, America. It's a big country, you know. You could be a bit more specific. I'm sure he was born in a city. I'm just being silly. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.